The following program is a Creative Magic Network production. Hey guys, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who pledged to our Patreon page. You are really helpful to the show and we are grateful for your help. Just in case you're wondering, Patreon is a simple way for you to contribute to the podcast and get super cool exclusive rewards in return. I promise you will love the perks. Our Patreon page is at frederickby.com. That's Frederick with a C, by like bye-bye.com, and click the Patreon in the header. The money is used to cover our production costs and enhancements. It is also used to cover our editing time and sharing to the different podcast channels. You can contribute for as low as $1. So go now, frederickby.com, and click Patreon in the header. Until then, have a great episode. Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome, come on in, sit down, relax, have a cup of coffee, maybe you're on the treadmill, maybe you're walking, maybe you're doing dishes, whatever you're doing. I just want to thank Guitar Geek for this cool rock version of Mario Brothers. And guys, I'm Frederick By, and this podcast is about unleashing your creativity. We talk to experts who step into the unknown. It is an inspirational, magical, intuitive podcast, radio show, however you want to call it, as we chat with charismatic enigmas. That's right. People from around the world, musicians, singers, radio hosts, business people, photographers, everything in between. The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey. Hey, in this place, sky is the limit and space is the place. I am a French Canucker. I am a host. I'm a businessman. I'm an artist. I'm a writer. I'm a friend. I'm a partner. I'm an animal lover. I don't know. I'm just everything. I'm just a guy. I am a dude. And today, Vanessa is not here yet. Maybe she will join in during the show. Who knows? Hey, this show is full of surprises, but you know what? We keep going anyway. And look, let me ask you this, people. Let me just let's talk. Let's talk, okay? Do you want to change your life? Do you believe that there is something higher? Maybe you're an artist, and you're thinking, hey, I want to grow in my art. Or maybe you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow and maybe you're stuck. All of us at some point in our lives, we are stuck. How do we change that? How do we change that? Or maybe you're somebody who's working 9 to 5 right now. You're sick of your job. You just want to, lead a creative life. Who knows? Whatever, today we have Dimitri Moraitis. I hope I pronounced his name right. Is it the right way to pronounce it, Dimitri?
Oh, very close. Yeah.
How do we pronounce it? Moraitis?
Moraitis.
Okay. He's an accomplished metaphysical teacher. He's a healer. He's the co-author of Communing with the Divine, Karma and Reincarnation, the healing power of your aura, and change your aura, change your life. How are you today, Dimitri?
Oh, great. Thank you for having me on your show.
Awesome. We're glad. We're honored. And, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subject, which is, spirituality. And, in your book, Change Your Aura, Change Your Life, you talk about something very, very important. I think it's inner change. It's always about inner change. And, and our aura has different colors and what we wear also. I want to dive into that. Like, the colors we wear, is a reflection of our soul in some way. And in your book, you talk about meditation, reflective meditation, transformational meditation, visualization. It's one of those things where it's very quote unquote popular right now, but I think we need to go a little deeper. And I feel that your book does that, And so, right before we dive into it, Dimitri, give us an idea here of your background a little bit.
Sure. Well, first of all, I think you hit the nail on the head. Any change starts from inside first. And it is amazing how many times we don't even allow ourselves to imagine the possibilities, let alone pursue them. So giving yourself internal freedom in your consciousness to dream, and I'm not saying just fantasize, but really dream things that can really be, is the first step to making things actually happen or changing something in your life. So even if you don't know about auras or energy or any of that, we're really talking about consciousness, changing your consciousness. Now, in my own life, I came actually from an artistic background, and I've been playing piano since, gosh, I could walk, basically. And then I pursued, as I got older, the entertainment business and motion pictures, and things were actually going well in that way. But I was having these, what I used to call them, inspirational moments, where just this sense of clarity and insight into things seemed to pop out of the blue. And I didn't put a term spirituality on it at that point, but it soon became so intense that I realized this was actually metaphysics. And once I got that realization, it was kind of like, I call it my like Saul on the road to Damascus moment. It completely changed my life. And then I started pursuing metaphysics more as a personal passion than as a career. I met Barbara early on, and I recognized her as a teacher for me. She was, what amazed me about her was not only her tremendous talents spiritually, but the experience. She was talking about these things that I had so strongly in my mind, thinking about and realizing that they were, she was talking from her own experience. I realized, my gosh, this is the one I have to study with. So I first became her student and was very happy there, but we soon realized we were both writers. And then maybe she knew what I didn't at the time. She actually started grooming me to become a teacher myself. And then we started the Institute, the nonprofit, to kind of give a home for these teachings. We just opened up a center in Encinitas. We've got this state-of-the-art video conferencing equipment. We invite people from around the world to join. We've got literally a global community. God bless them. Some of them are waking up at 3 a.m. to take the classes because of the time schedules. And it's just been a remarkable journey. And I do share with people, which I'm sure you're doing a lot in your work, follow your passion. If I hadn't have followed the passion to come from Chicago to Los Angeles to pursue entertainment, it might not have led me to the next step, which was my spiritual awakening. So you have to look at what's in front of you and where your heart is taking you, because you don't know from that point where else it may take you.
What was the, because a lot of people, now listen to podcasts and radio shows online and all that, they're maybe 19, 20 and 21, they don't know what's ahead. And when you're in that age, you're kind of in a fear state of mind, because a lot of times you have to make career decisions. You're not ready. Your parents are, hey, you need to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. If you're not, you're going to be a screw up in life. Okay. Well, what was the, now you're doing the books and you're talking about spirituality and everything. But back then, let's
Well, I had my awakening at 25, so I was kind of I was in my teens, but I was still formulating my life, formulating my career. So things were definitely not settled. This was not like I finished a career, I had my family, and now I'm thinking, gee, what else do I want to do with my life? So the first thing to recognize is, boy, are you in an advantage if you're wishing to seek your spiritual goals early. You are so far ahead of the game, just number one, because that means you have more time to pursue it, more time to develop it, and that it's not something apart from the challenges of your life. The whole idea of spirituality is not something separate from like finding a career, finding a family, all the things you may want to create. It's part of the process of achieving those things.
Yeah.
And spirituality helps you make those decisions. Now, of course, we feel pressures, when we're starting our career. But a career is kind of like anything else. If you're going to climb Mount Everest, you don't just put on a pair of shoes and start climbing. You have to plan. So what you need to do with career things is just like anything, plan, and don't be afraid to make some mistakes. It's not like if you make the wrong move right here, you're destroyed for the rest of your life. We can dramatize the moment right now. And actually the problem with that over fear has a paralyzing quality, and it can cause you to stop taking action at the very moment you need to take it. They say even there's a statistic about soldiers in battle. The ones that tend to feel, I'm going to get through this are often the ones that do. And sometimes the ones that are terrified of even the thought of going in are the ones sometimes that don't make it. So we have to have a very, clear picture. What we tell people, let's say with career, when you're starting to pursue a career, before you're trying to figure out, level the playing field. Look at your options as if you could do anything. And then start to see where your desire is, where your talents are, and look at the different options. Don't say, oh, gosh, that's too expensive. I can't go that way. Oh, that'll take too long. It'll never happen. Oh, I'd have to move to another city to do that. The minute you start doing all those things, you have shot yourself in the foot before you've even allowed it to grow. And you have to put aside, for example, family pressures, because you're making the decisions for your own life. Your family loves you. Your family may be worried. They want to see you successful. I actually grew up in in my teen years in an affluent area outside of Chicago. And ironically, for a period of time, it had the highest teen suicide rate.
Wow,
because
really?
There was all this pressure. Here was successful parents, and the kids were expected to be, you got to be as successful as me. And this was at like a young age. They weren't even allowed to have their freedom. And this put unreasonable pressure on them at too young an age. Yes, there's challenges in the world, but, we have to take things in rhythm. That's what spells success. And so taking the steady, sober approach and adding the spiritual. Now, in the book, Change Your Life, we really emphasize meditation. That's really what the book is about. Meditation is you stepping kind of outside, think of, like the Bhagavad Gita talked about life kind of like a battlefield. So, all right, but when you meditate, you're pulling yourself away from the challenges of life. You're getting into a sacred space where it's just you, your inner divine nature, and the divine itself communing together. Yes. And it's like in a moment of eternity. It has nothing to do with what you have to do that day. You're in that beautiful oneness with the divine, where you can find your center, relax, let go of the stresses. You don't find the solutions by being immersed in the problems. You have to step aside from the problems to get the clarity of mind, and then you yourself will start to see what you need to do. Yeah. And also, I will say this, and this is not just to make people feel good, that from the spiritual point of view, every single person on this earth has a purpose. Yes. And it's actually shown to us before we incarnate in this life. And it's not mission impossible, it's mission possible.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're such in a fear-driven society. Like, I was watching the presidential debate last, was it last night or 2 days ago? No, it was last night. And, I mean, one person is really fear-driven, and the other person seems to be a little bit more spiritually driven. Right. Am I right about this?
I don't want to take sides here.
Yeah. No. You're right. Yeah.
The thing we have to remember is fear-driven is emotional-based.
Yeah.
And emotions don't think. So anytime in any decision-making process, when you find yourself in a state of fear, unless you have to make a decision at that moment, that's not the time to make an important decision. You want your higher inspirational flow to be there and you to feel calm emotionally, centered emotionally, because that's how you deal with the challenges of life. Not knee-jerk reactions, not without thinking. That's how we get into trouble. That's how we get into trouble personally. I got mad at that person. I let them have it. And then we have all these repercussions later on. Because what do they say? When you feel like getting mad, count to 10. Why? To calm those emotions down so you're not making knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah.
And you have to take, Bill Gates a couple years ago in one of his annual speeches for his nonprofit, it was a great thing he said. He was talking about the possibility of eradicating extreme poverty by 2035. Mm-hmm. And he basically said the biggest impediment is those doom and gloom scenarios, because what happens is it paralyzes you to take action. Oh, my money doesn't count. This can't be changed. It's the way those kinds of things are not the way to create positive creative change. And we also have to recognize that there are a lot of amazing things happening in the world right now. We are coming together more than we ever have before. And I think some of, we've been asked a lot of this about, the aura of Donald Trump, the aura of Hillary Clinton and all of that. One of the dramatic, because remember, these people also represent sections of populations that have certain feelings. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we do have to realize is that we are in a fast changing world, and there is a progress that's going on, and it really can't be reversed. You can't say, gee, I just wish I could go back to a simpler, easier time. Those days are over. We're in the age we're in now. What we have to do is have our heads forward, look forward and see, okay, how can we strategically make the best moves? Right. And we will, to realize you have help. You have divine help through all of this.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Let's fast forward a little bit. You were originally trained in film and TV, and then you redirected your life's work, to pursue the path of metaphysics. And what was the breakthrough for you? Was there a breakthrough, or was it
spiritual awakening? The realization, literally the spiritual light bulb went on. And this happened for millions of people now. But for me, it was so strong. I couldn't, film is a very demanding profession. I call it it's a jealous mistress. You have to give it a lot of attention. And as I had,
I like that, a jealous mistress. I like that.
As I got involved with metaphysics, I realized, oh, this is my real, I had a passion for film, but this was what really was underlying it. Because even in the film industry, I was in the avant-garde, the visionary thing. Even then, there was this element that was not conventional. And then I realized what was really going on. So it was, and I believe honestly, it wasn't easy making the transition, because personally, the circle of friends I had, the colleagues I had, none of them were in the metaphysical arena when I had the awakening. So, they thought maybe, gee, Dimitri's been in California too long. It's time for him to go back to Chicago or something, But I, as Shakespeare said, to thine own self be true, and you cannot be false to anyone. And I just, there was no turning back. Once that reality hit me, I just had to pursue it. And, yes, there were some challenging times as I was doing that, but there's nothing more satisfying than doing what you know you need to be doing.
Yeah. All right, once again, we're here with Dimitri Moraitis. Moraitis, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, exactly.
All right, he's an accomplished metaphysical teacher, a healer, and he's a co-author of Communing with the Divine, Karma, and Reincarnation, the healing power of your aura. And change your aura, change your life. Yes, and by the way, guys, right before continuing this conversation, if you have a passion, something that fuels your curiosity, well, on top of getting fascinating interviews such as this one straight to your inbox, when you subscribe to our FREE free Creative Magic community, you will get super cool exclusive gifts in return, such as the ebook Happiness Quotes by the Ambassador of Happiness herself, Maura Sweeney, one of our hosts here at the Creative Magic Network, by the way, and also an exclusive conversation with two of my favorite people, Nigerian sensation Alex Okoroji and the blind blogger Max Ivy. Yes, the host of What's Your Excuse with Max Ivy, as we talk the influence of friends and college education on our lives, the competitiveness in a crowded field, and the importance of business and financial education in arts and entrepreneurship, and more. And also, Alex has a special gift for you inside. I promise you will get inspired and entertained. Subscribe for free at FrederickBuy.com. That's Frederick with a C, buy like bye-bye.com. All right, let's move on, Dimitri. You wrote an amazing book, Change Your Aura, Change Your Life. And as we mentioned at the start of this conversation of the radio show, change is all about, it starts from the inside. And right. when you change, your aura changes, right? And, let's start with the anatomy of the aura. You write, to create any condition, we must first have the spiritual energy present. It seems to me that, there's that quote in the Bible, for those who have, more will be given. For those who have not, even more will be, they'll have I'm paraphrasing it. I'm sorry, people. What's the Bible quote again? The more you have, the more will be given. And isn't that you gotta have first before you receive it? Isn't it what your statement is all about?
Well, we learned at the beginning, for example, in the 20th century, the power of mind over matter, that you can actually, through your mental emotional states, create a physical illness in your body, and an otherwise healthy body. Now in the 21st century, we're also realizing it's not just the mind, but there's a spiritual, energetic component to all of this. There's not just physical energy in the universe, there is a spiritual energy. And that spiritual energy is the foundation for all the activities of your life. So, for example, if you are a creative person and you're expressing your creativity, you are going to be attracting universal life energies that are part of that process. And that will show up in your auric field. So, for example, an inspirational person will have this powder blue. It's like a baby blue energy, and it's usually seen above the head. And it shows a person that's in an inspirational state of mind. Now, on the other hand, if you've been taking years studying your craft and you're getting very good, let's say it's singing or writing or whatever, your talent is building. That'll show up as a beautiful electric blue. We used to live in Los Angeles for years and years. And, of course, met a lot of actors and things like that. And often they would ask Barbara and myself, well, I want to have a career. I want to be successful. And, well, if the energy of that talent wasn't strong enough there, the advice would be, well, build your skills more. It's not quite strong enough to manifest the career yet. So when we're studying for something, we're building that power in the aura. Now, if I'm a scientist, I'm going to attract different types of energies for that. If I'm an athlete, I will also attract it. There's a lot of red and orange in let's say, professional athletes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the colors. Mm-hmm.
The colors now, right. To have the stamina to pursue their craft. And this is where the colors you wear come into play. The colors since we are color, if you were to actually see the fullness of a person and their energy, you would say, wow, this is not just a body and all of that. There's a lot of other things going on here. And so wearing colors that either reflect what you feel or what you need. So let's say you're really tired, physically tired, you're exhausted. Wearing something bright red will help pick up your vitality because red in the aura means vitality. Mm-hmm. If you're very nervous, if you're very upset about something, wearing something purple, believe it or not, can help. Purple is a tranquilizing, a peaceful kind of energy. So you can, and we're not talking about, fashion sense here or seasons or color tones or skin tones. We're talking about spiritual energies now. Wearing a physical counterpart or representation can actually help you. If you're sick, wear something like a rich blue to help in the healing of your body. Mm-hmm. So these things do actually help.
Right. And one thing that you mentioned in your book that I really like is talk to us a little bit about you're right. Most of us can feel the aura because the aura vibrates. People say, oh, I don't like that person's vibe.
Right.
Why? Although you may not see an aura, you intuitively react to its energy field. And I mean, that's me. I mean, I don't know if I can I don't see people's auras, but I can catch their energy. And,
that's it.
And and it's like I could, even when I was younger, it was hard for me with some people because it's almost like I instinctively knew that I would have a hard time with that individual. Right. And I didn't know how to handle it. Now I'm a little bit more mature. Okay, I kind of know myself more and I don't make such a big deal out of it. But talk to us a little bit about that because I think that's important.
But you're saying it right on the money here. So if I meet somebody for the first time, it doesn't matter if they're president of the United States or whatever, and I get I immediately have a kind of an intuitive sense and connection. I'm reacting to their energy field without having to see a single color. And I'm feeling good about what I'm observing and experiencing unconsciously. On the other hand, I could be meeting somebody that's maybe very, very well respected in their field, but the minute I meet them, I'm feeling a very disconnect, literally uneasy. You have to learn to trust that. Part of our intellect says, well, come on, why are you feeling that way? This person didn't do anything to you. But there's something going on the unconscious level, and you have to honor that. I do have to share real quickly a story of Barbara. Started seeing auras at age 3, and her father was a Greek Orthodox priest, and he was also a builder of churches. So they would literally send him to a town, get the congregation together, fundraise, build the church, and then they'd send him somewhere else because he was an engineer too. So she's only 4 years old. She doesn't understand what the colors mean, but she, just like you're saying now, she was either attracted to somebody by their pretty colors or detracted when they had kind of menacing energies, which unfortunately sometimes people have. Mm-hmm. So there was an inauguration of a huge cathedral, and the archbishop was there. Now that's like next to the patriarch. And his bishops were there, and he's very impressive and, dressed to the hilt and all that kind of stuff. And again, little 4-year-old Barbara is looking at his aura during the service, and instead of seeing this really pretty colors, she saw the grotesque, the dark colors, the unenlightened, we call them colors. And she couldn't figure out, well, why is this happening? Bishops had very nice energies, but not him. So when it came time to, have to kiss the hand of the officiating, in this case, archbishop, at the end of the service, she kind of blurted out in front of, innocently in front of the whole congregation, "Oh, no, I'm not kissing his hand. He's a monster. He eats children." First of, many spankings. But that's the point we're making here. Go by your intuition. You don't need to see the aura to work with it, but do start meditating. So, for example, let's say I don't have the confidence I need to go out and do something. I've got an idea for a project. I think it could be successful, but I stumble every time. One little block or impediment, and I'm lost. So in the aura, it shows you don't have enough of the gold light, which means a very outgoing person. The real go-getters, the real doers, they'll have a lot of gold in their aura. So you can, in the meditation, call that energy into your aura, and it will help to give you more confidence to go out there and try. Mm-hmm. Or the opposite. We had a doctor in one of the classes, and he was honest. He said, I don't show enough compassion for my patients. Well, he needs more of the compassionate energies, which come through as the deep rose pink, the love. So he started working with that, and he saw a change in his practice by his behavior change.
Talk to us a little bit about the auras of animals. I was surprised about it, and plants too.
Yeah. Oh, everything in life, even this computer has an aura.
For me, Dimitri, I think animals and even plants feel us. Like they totally feel us.
More than that, they have a soul just like we do. Now, it's not at the same level of the human, okay? If you saw the aura of an animal and the aura of a human, you definitely say, okay, we share a lot of same biology, but spiritually we're very different. But the animals are on an evolutionary path just like we are. And by the way, we in the human kingdom have a responsibility, not just to love animals and care for them, but we have a spiritual responsibility. Through the process of caring for the animals, we're actually helping them in their spiritual evolution. They are extremely aware of what's going on, but they're aware of it in their animal consciousness. They're extremely psychic. They mainly communicate with pictures. So when you really want to communicate with an animal, it's almost like you're sending it the picture of what you want, and it's going to be sending you the picture of what it like. Oh, feed me now, or take me out, or hug me. Okay. That's how they work.
When you say sending a picture mentally, what do you mean?
Mentally. You can communicate with them mentally. We've heard about the horse whisperers and things like that. Mm-hmm. But you can, through love, communicate to your animal, and they are extremely psychic. That's how they can, in the ancient days of Egypt, they said there used to be these temple cats that would warn the priests of any evil spirits were trying to, come into the temples, because the cats could see them. So animals, are an incredible part of it. We just did a whole big workshop on them. I mean, they're a marvelous part of the spiritual process. We have to honor them. When the Bible says you'll have dominion over the earth, it didn't mean to do with as we please. It meant we had the most responsibility. And the same with plants. Plants have a life presence in them, not just biologically. There's a spiritual life presence, and they have auras too, because of that life presence. So there is life everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about spiritually now. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. 3 keys to working with spiritual energy. Key number 1, decide what you want the light to do for you. Key number 2, draw the light into your aura. And key number 3, apply the light to effect to change the change you desire.
Right.
Start up with number 1. Decide what you want the light to do for you. I think most people don't even know what they really want.
Well, first of all, in our type of meditation, sometimes you can just go into the silence and just hold to receive. But what's really effective is meditating with an intention. So if meditation is your time to receive from the divine, having an idea of what you want to receive is a great help. So in other words, again, if I need confidence, I will go into meditate. I decide that beforehand. This meditation is going to be about confidence building. And then I will call on the energies that will relate in that process. Or you could say, I really have to forgive this person. I'm still so mad at them right now. Okay, this meditation is going to be about forgiveness. And then I will bring in the energies related to help with forgiveness. So in the book, we also talk about let's say, a week-long self-survey of you. Observed in different departments of your life what's going on without judgment. But if you do a week-long self-survey and you say, God, I got mad 6 times in 1 week. I think I have to work on my emotions. I keep getting angry too much. Looking at it objectively and also realizing, we sometimes shy away from our weaknesses because that makes us think like we're bad people. No, we have that divine spark in us. If there is a blemish, that's all that it is. It's a weakness that needs strengthening. If my left muscle, my left bicep is not very strong and my right is, doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Just means I need to spend a little more time on my left bicep. So if I need to show a little more kindness or a little bit more patience or whatever it is I need to work on, that's all it is. I just need to work on it, and you'll use your strengths to help, strengthen your weaknesses. Mm-hmm. Now, step 2 is then drawing the energy into the aura. So once you say, let's say, okay, this meditation is all about confidence building, I will call on the energies and the meditative steps to do that. So then my aura gets pumped up with this energy. And then very importantly, after the meditation, I have to live it. So meditating is not like taking a pill. I can just take it and then forget about it. I have to be an active participant. So for example, there is an energy in the aura connected to prosperity. Prosperity is first a consciousness. And it looks like this very brilliant turquoise light. People that have that strong in their aura not only may have the manifestation of wealth, but they know how to go about manifesting wealth. There are people that come into towns virtually penniless, and in a short period of time, they amass money because they have the consciousness to know how to do it. So let's say I realize I'm in a little bit of poverty consciousness. So I do that's step 1. I'm going to work with prosperity. Then step 2, I bring in the prosperity energy. But then after I do that, I have to go out in the world and be that example of prosperity.
Which is the hard part.
That is, you said it right, exactly right. That is the hardest part. The hardest part is living the light.
Because we're tempted from everywhere.
Exactly.
Just, and people, it seems that, when you're in a competitive field, they don't want you to succeed. You kind of you have an image in your book, where it's, I'm trying to find it right now. Anyway, it's like the person is in a bubble. Yeah, I got it right here. Right. The person is in a bubble, and then one person is attacking them, refusing and arguing, an angry outburst.
So that's the anger thing. Right. But that brought you bring up an excellent point. No energy can enter your aura unless you permit it to happen.
Amen.
So the idea is if someone gets angry at you and you react to that anger, you might as well open the door and say, come on in, give me all your anger. You have now accepted that energy. We will not always change what's happening around us, but we have complete control of how we handle that reaction. If we can control ourselves and not fly off the handle when someone gets mad at us, we won't allow those energies into our aura, which won't cause the same kind of reaction, which can change everything around. I had an experience years ago when I was in the film biz and just had learned this technique. And I remember, I was in producing at that time, and I remember walking into a room where everybody was so emotionally upset about something and looking at to me, it wasn't my fault, but they were looking at me, well, what's going to happen? How are you going to handle this? And I remember the lesson on emotions, just don't react. Mm-hmm. And it was like people were trying to emotionally, I felt like they were punching my stomach energetically, and I didn't react. I had nothing brilliant to say, but guess what? It helped them to calm down. And then everybody figured out what to do. And it was like a storm that had come in the room and 10 minutes later had passed. Yeah. So we have to be very strong in situations where there are strong energies, not to get caught up in the stresses of that. Stay centered and things will work out.
All right, once again, we're here with Dimitri Moraitis. He's an accomplished metaphysical teacher, healer, and he's co-author of Communing with the Divine, Karma, and Reincarnation, the healing power of your aura, and change your aura, change your life. And by the way, guys, if you're an Amazon shopper, when you use our Amazon links at frederickbuy.com, Frederick with a C, buy like bye-bye.com, Amazon kicks back a few bucks to the network, and it helps cover production costs at no additional cost to you. No hidden fees, no nothing. So if you like to hear, you can help by going over to frederickbuy.com, click on the blog page, and click the Amazon link in the sidebar for all your online shopping. We have it for the UK, the good old US of A, Canada, and France. It is that simple, and bookmark it to find it easier. All right, Dimitri, 6 steps to change your aura. Because, as we said earlier, the outside is a reflection of the inside. I want to change it. I'm tired of this situation. I'm tired of being, a starving artist, and I want to change. I want to be not a starving artist, but an abundant artist. Or, maybe you're, like I said, 9 to 5. Hey, I want to lead a creative life. I want to lead an inspired life. What can I do right now? What are the steps?
Okay, so those are 2 very interesting examples. Gee, I love my art, but I'm not making any money at it. Or I'm making money at something, but I'm not feeling very inspired. Interesting combination you just put there. So those are different challenges. So you would sit down and figure out, okay, what is it I need to do? Now, for example, with the starving artist, again, having worked with artists so many years, being one myself, sometimes a mistake that people make is they think that their talent alone will make them successful. Mm-hmm. They don't realize that there's a business side to the art world, and you have to have 2 hats. You have to have your creative hat and your business hat. And why is it sometimes mediocre talents become very successful? Because they have good business sense. Mm-hmm. So you need to do the business things that need to happen. Then you can work with those energies to help you successful. Now, you asked about the 6 steps. It's a whole process. 1 is relax. 2 is protection. 3 is, again, it gets a little technical with how the aura works. But basically what you're doing in those 6 steps is you're infusing your aura with the energy that you feel you need. So if you feel you need more consciousness of wealth, then you bring in that turquoise. My talent is fine. I'm really happy with my paintings never have been better. But I need a little bit better sense of finances. I need also a better business sense of how to go about maybe getting my agent, finding a market of what will buy my art, all those kinds of things that we need to do. And you could bring in energies like bright orange, which brings in ambition, organizational skills. The silver helps with business savvy. There's a lot of things you can bring in to help you with what you're doing. Now, if you're on the opposite camp, if you're saying, gee, I'm at a job now, but I'm not feeling very inspired here, then of course, well, first of all, honor the job you're at. Many people are not working, so be grateful for what's in front of you. And, you also want to put your heart in where you're at, even if it's not your ideal job. Don't be looking over your shoulder all the time and thinking, gosh, I wish I was there. I wish I was there. It will lower your performance. It will weaken your motivation. It will kill everything. So honor the place you're at right now, even if it's not your perfect job. But then, of course, make the steps and the plans. We had to juggle ourselves running an organization and writing books. Writing books is like a full-time profession by itself. Running an organization is like a full-time profession by itself. And when I first started writing with Barbara, metaphysically, I was a little apprehensive. I've done creative. I don't know if I'm qualified for this. And she gave me the best advice ever. She said, just start. So if you're planting the seeds of future, just start. Start moving forward from where you are. Carve out some time every day to start organize your mind into things that you want to do, and step by step, you'll build the momentum to create it. With patience and willpower, you will make it happen. Again, in the industry, I remember one time I worked with Harold Ramis, the great writer, actor, director. God bless him. He's not here now. He left this earth. And they were asking him, well, what's the secret to your success? And he said, well, okay, imagine what you would like to do in this business and then give yourself 10 years to make it happen. He didn't say 5 weeks. He didn't say a month. He didn't say a year. He said 10 years of persistent work and dedication, and you will achieve what you're really meant to do. And he was one of the, my God, one of the kindest, most generous people with his talent and creative energy I met in Hollywood. So you can make these things happen, but don't give up. Many people, they try a little bit, it doesn't work, and say, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Oh, come on now. You haven't even begun to try yet. I had a good example with my father. He was an immigrant from Greece with my mother. He was a doctor, but he had to take all his boards over again. He had to do everything almost like from scratch in a different language in a different country with no family there to support. Up to about 10 or 11, all I remember seeing him sitting and studying with all his free time. But then he succeeded. He got it all and then had the life he wanted. So we just have to really pursue it, and pursue it with confidence and stay with it till we actually see the things turn around for us.
This is I love these types of conversation. And I think you're dead on how to change our lives. One piece of your book that I really like is you talk about sex and spiritual energy. And, sex has a very definite effect on our lives and in our auras. Talk to us a little bit about that.
All right. Well, yes. Okay. We know, of course, sex is procreation, but we know it's also intimacy. It serves more than one function. And as Barbara has taught, the closest two auras come is in sexual intimacy. So remember, when you are inviting somebody into your bed, it's not just the physical pleasure. It's not just maybe the physical attraction. You are inviting their energy into your energy. So make sure that person is compatible with you. That person, it's not just about, the sex of the moment, that there is a creative energy exchange between the two of you, because that experience will definitely affect your aura. We generally recommend when you're going into a romantic moment, ask the white light to bless the exchange so that it does stay on a high level. It doesn't get into the, shall we say, the animal lusts, which creates a darker type of energy. So it's not just the sexual act, it's the attitude and how you are approaching the act that determines if it's going to be an elevating experience or kind of sometimes it can be passionate, but almost like it's tearing at two auras. It's not actually helping to build up your energy field. Mm-hmm. And, again, it's fascinating to look at when people are dating. There's energy exchanges between the two. If the two people are, often people ask Barbara, how is this person right for me? And usually one of the things you want to look at is compatibility, because that compatible energy creates a very positive flow. If there's worry, oh my gosh, I'm a loser, or if it's like you get possessive, no one's going to have that person but me, it starts to create darker exchanges of energy, and it's not productive. Mm-hmm. And then when it gets into the state of marriage, that creates its own spiritual blessing. When couples are getting ready to conceive, that creates yet another blessing. So this is a very sacred part. We have to recognize we are sexual beings. It's not a matter of whether we have the sexual energy or not. It's how we use the sexual energy. Mm-hmm. And that determines a lot our spirituality.
We're going to wrap this up in a few minutes here. In your book, you talk about a lot of different types of meditation. And usually when we talk about meditation, we talk about humming and, mantras and stuff like that. And then you have reflective meditation. And I have to say, this is, I thank God that I saw that in your book, because it's actually how I love to meditate best. This is what to me is the fastest, quickest, easiest way to meditate. And, talk to us a little bit about that. I don't want to say what it is. I'll let you say what it is.
Yeah. No. It's so. In other words, in the work we do with Divine Light, color is a door to consciousness. So, for example, a healing energy comes in as this like beautiful sapphire blue. Now, you can go through the whole 6-step process of bringing it down, which we highly recommend. But if you're just feeling, like you said, just kind of cutting to the chase, you can close your eyes, make sure you're uninterrupted by anybody around you or not distracted. And, for example, envision yourself, your body, you're in a beautiful pool of blue water, and there's a blue waterfall that's cascading in and around your body. And that as you're letting that beautiful water, envelop you, you're feeling this tremendous sense of healing and restoration. Mm-hmm. And giving yourself that time to be in that moment and actually experience that will actually help to manifest the healing energies within you. Yeah. And it really is that simple.
Yeah. To me, I love to picture myself. I'm sitting on the border of a lake. It's at night and it's still water. You know what I mean? And there are little trees all around, and then I might throw a rock in the water, and then I see the waves. I think that's what our thoughts and our desires are like. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Everything should be calm within you, and then you kind of throw a rock, and then this is a metaphor for life, I think. But
also, what happens is the very act of you doing that, focusing on that, takes your mind off of other distresses. And also remember something else. You are where you place your attention. That's one of the secrets of consciousness. So by putting your attention there, part of you becomes actually part of that experience. And that's what helps to make it so transformative.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Dimitri, where can we find you? Where can we buy your book? And talk to us a little bit about spiritual arts.
Yeah, well, we have a center. We are celebrating 10 years now. And now we open up our new center itself in Encinitas, which is in Southern California. It's Spiritual Arts Institute, spiritualarts.org. And you can find all about our classes, again, offered online, in person. The books, of course, are available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everywhere. Penguin's our publisher. And we just invite you to find out more. We got some classes starting actually next week to train in the aura and get good at all of that. But we just really encourage people to start meditating daily, even 10, 15 minutes a day, kind of like, brushing your teeth kind of a thing. Regularity will have a profound impact on your life.
Wow. All right. His name is Dimitri Moraitis. He's the author of Change Your Aura, Change Your Life. Go pick it up. It's really a great book, a step-by-step guide to unfolding your spiritual power. All right, Dimitri, thank you very much, and I really enjoyed our conversation, man. Good luck in the future, really.
Okay, thank you very much. I enjoyed it too, and good luck too with all that you're doing.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. All right, guys. All right, Dimitri, thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for this amazing conversation. I love those conversations. What a great guy. Go pick up his book. By the way, guys, when you pick up his book from our website at frederickby.com, Amazon kicks back a few bucks to the show, and it helps cover production costs at no additional cost to you. No hidden fees. No, nothing. So if you like this show, if you like what you hear, you can help by going over to frederickby.com, click on his page in the blog, and click the link to his book at the bottom of the page. It is really that simple. Change your aura, change your life, people. Change your life. We also would like to thank those who pledged to our Patreon page. You are really helpful to the show. And we are grateful for your help. In case you're wondering, Patreon is a simple way for you to contribute to the network every single month and get super cool exclusive rewards in return. I promise you will love the perks. And our Patreon page is at frederickby.com. Frederick with a C, by like bye-bye.com. Click Patreon in the header. The money is used to cover our production costs and enhancements and our editing time. You can contribute for as low as $1 little tiny dollar. And also check out the Creative Magic store, guys. It's really cool, man. It's out there. T-shirts, mugs, books, DVDs, jewelry, everything you need basically. And this podcast is FREE free every time you download it on iTunes or Stitcher. Please go over there, subscribe. It is listener supported. I sound like a rapper, don't I? No, never mind. So tell a friend, leave a star review, leave a review, 5-star preferably. It's always good, it's always kind of, it's a little push. Let's put it that way, and it really helps a brother out. And with this, people, stay safe, and don't forget, live with purpose, passion, and love. Bye bye.